TV11 has presented The Late Show. Tonight, The French Connection, star Gene Hackman and Fernando Rey. The following Action 11 repeat, recorded earlier this evening, is being presented at this time as a public affairs service for our viewers who may have been unable to view the first telecast. Tonight, Action 11 is sponsored in part by Perkins, Chrysler Plymouth, 2105 Dixie Highway. Remember, Perkins will take less.
Action 11, Kentucky's #1 news, with Dan Dixon and Pam Moore. Paul Rogers with sports, and Ken Schultz with the weather.
Good evening, I'm Pam Moore.
And I'm Dan Dixon. Kentucky Senator Wendell Ford said tonight in Louisville that the Cuban refugee situation in Florida is getting out of hand. So far, more than 25,000 Cubans had fled to the Florida coast to escape the communist regime of Fidel Castro. While Ford was sympathetic to the plight of the refugees, he says the U.S. government must place greater restrictions on them before the American economy is hurt even more than it already is.
It is my opinion that other countries in Latin America, South America, should accommodate some of the refugees. It started out, you know, as a humanitarian operation, and now it's turned into something else. And I think we have a hard enough time getting along in this country with the inflation and high interest rates.
Senator Ford was a guest speaker tonight at the annual Louisville Jaycees banquet.
There were protests in Houston today at the arrival of a bus filled with 21 Cuban refugees. The bus arrived at the Salvation Army shelter where residents held signs calling for them to leave. One person said the U.S. government should be helping its own people before it helps those from other countries. Meanwhile, more refugees are arriving at a so-called tent city in Florida, and Martha Teichner has the report.
Representatives from each tent have been recruited to take part in a refugee council. Their job, to organize work details and explain camp policy. The camp at Eglin is a week old, a place where refugees will come and go in a matter of days. Still, the people who run it feel that it must be more than a tent city. It must become a tent community. On Friday, Father Todd Havia performed the first baptism here. The parents met the godparents when they sought asylum at the Peruvian embassy in Havana. Father Todd left Cuba in 1964. To him, it's important to establish a camp routine that is reassuring to the refugees confined here day after day.
It takes a highly motivated people to be able to endure the privations that you have to undergo in this camp. And after 20 years of communism, you cannot be that highly motivated, because they took all your values, they took all your tools. I don't care how long it is. If we plant the seed here, that seed will be watered when they get out and eventually will bloom. I live in the United States of America.
Martha Teichner, CBS News, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida.
A daring, wild Western-style robbery and shootout ended in California today, leaving 3 people dead. Gary Shepard has the details from Southern California.
It began yesterday afternoon when this branch of the Security Pacific National Bank in Norco, California, was held up by a team of precision bandits known as the 2-Minute Gang, because during 4 previous holdups in the San Diego area, they never spent more than 2 minutes inside the bank. As they emerged, there was a wild shootout. One of the bandits, the getaway driver, was shot to death as the gang attempted to escape in a stolen van. 1 police officer was killed and 7 were wounded. The robbers were forced to abandon the bullet-riddled vehicle, and in a stolen pickup truck, they led police on a 40-mile high-speed chase to the north into the San Bernardino National Forest, where they holed up for the night. This morning, authorities brought in helicopters and some 200 men and began to close in. One bandit who was seriously wounded during yesterday's gun battle was captured and taken by helicopter to a nearby hospital for medical attention. A short while after that, police found 2 others emerging from the brush, one of them with a gunshot wound in his back. Several hours later, the last of the 2-Minute Gang was found dead in the brush, and the manhunt was ended. Gary Shepard, CBS News, in the San Bernardino National Forest in California.
Louisville realtors are going to extraordinary lengths these days to try and stimulate house buying, as we see in this report from Bud Harbsmeyer.
80. Now 80, you want me 80,000, 75, now 80, you want me 80. Now, ladies and gentlemen.
It was something different. This was not a courthouse sale of bankrupt property. It was real estate company Helm & Helm's way of trying to move one of its houses. It is an auction. This home on Burley Way is a big, beautiful, and expensive house. It is on 5 levels, it has 5 bedrooms, and a price tag of $150,000. You could buy this house for a lot less than that, and that was the purpose of today's auction, according to Harold Helm. He wants to move this home that's been vacant for 6 months.
We wanted to try to stimulate the market, and we thought we'd use this tool.
How's it been going?
Well, we've generated a lot of publicity, and we hope we'll generate some good buyers for our sellers.
Is there more to this than just a gimmick to get people interested in housing, or what?
Well, we feel there's substantial value here for the dollar for the people who do come out to bid.
But from the start, the idea was in trouble. The first bid, $75,000, was half the asking price. After 32 minutes of mostly inaction, one unidentified man thought he had purchased a bargain at $105,000. But inside the home, officials told him they could not accept his bid since it was less than the mortgage on the place. The man left the scene in an apparent angry mood. The house remains for sale tonight, the price somewhere between $105,000 and $150,000. Bud Harbsmeyer, Action 11.
Coming up on Action 11, the Windy City is flooded with ERA supporters.
And baseball gets a royal welcome back in Germantown today. Stay with us.
Matt's here for Perkins. The 1980 Plymouths and Chryslers represent economy and total quality engineering. Perkins joins Chrysler nationally in asking you to compare. Compare Ford, compare GM, and compare the imports. There's a Chrysler or Plymouth that's built better, with better gas mileage. You owe it to yourself to see all the new 1980s. And when it comes to dealing, remember, Perkins will take less. 2105 Dixie, north of the Waterson, south of Algonquin.
It's a big, big world. To get around it, you need a long-lasting tire. Like this 36,000-mile Cruisemaster steel radio from Gull. Built to travel 36,000 miles, or about 1.5 times around the Earth, with an improved tread compound that saves even more gas than before. For long-lasting quality, see the 36,000-mile Cruisemaster steel radio, only at Gull.
10 years ago, the man on the left bought a John Deere lawn tractor. The man on the right bought a bargain tractor. Years passed. Grass grew. The man on the left was still using his John Deere. The man on the right was on his second bargain tractor. So this year, the man on the right bought a new John Deere lawn tractor, built as tight and solid as ever. It cost a little more than those bargain tractors, but you live and learn.
Oh, we should have bags like this back home.
Our money.
What?
It's out in my suit.
Do you carry traveler's checks?
Yes, Citicorp.
Well, refunds are no problem almost anywhere in the world. There's even a large Citibank right near the Imperial Palace.
Thank you, Mr.
Yama.
Mr. Yama, my wife, Ella.
That's all right. Don't get up.
Travel the world with us. Citicorp Traveler's Checks.
The troubled Chrysler Corporation is going to get its $1.5 billion loan from the federal government. Final approval for the bailout came through today. The number 3 automaker scrounged up enough money from private sources to meet congressional conditions for the deal. Without the loan, Treasury Secretary Miller says Chrysler would have gone under by the end of this month.
More than 25,000 women gathered in Chicago today to rally in support of passage of the Equal Rights Amendment. 35 of 38 states needed have ratified it so far. The Illinois House is scheduled to vote on it next week. The ER campaigners were chanting slogans and carrying signs today, and it now has won the support of some influential politicians.
And look at the world in the decade called 1980 and say women don't have to congregate or beg anymore. We accept the fact. We'll work with them. We are equal.
Since 1972, Illinois has failed on numerous occasions to ratify the ERA.
The local baseball season got a rousing welcome in Germantown today, starting with a big parade in that East Louisville neighborhood. Bud Harbesmeyer was in on the festivities.
With a Louisville police car leading the way, the 23rd Annual Germantown Baseball Parade stepped off at 9 this morning from the intersection at Goss and McHenry. More than 1,000 people took part in the festival. Germantown baseball is serious business in this part of town. While this is the 23rd year for the parade, it is the 28th year for the baseball program. This year, 750 boys and girls ages 5 to 16 will be playing on 50 different teams. Today's parade featured members of the Camp Taylor Volunteer Fire Department, Antique Cars, Shriners, the American Legion, the Manual High School Band, and of course hundreds of baseball-playing youngsters. Bud Harbesmeyer, Action 11.
Coming up in Action 11, Ken Schulz with the Mother's Day weather forecast.
And people throughout Kentuckiana are gearing up for the 27th Annual Crusade for Children.
I outsmarted the best defenses in football, but I don't know how Ponderosa does it.
Nobody knows how Ponderosa offers a big steak dinner for so little. A juicy super sirloin cooked to order, baked potato, all the fresh salad you can eat from our salad bar, all for one low price. And free refills on soft drinks. How do we do it?
You're asking me? Who cares? Just keep doing it.
Ponderosa, how do you do what you do?
Driving cattle. When your days are long and your work is hot and dusty, there's just one thing you want to do. Head for the mountains. Push. Head for the beer that always goes down smooth as a mountain stream. New Bush, brewed just one way, the natural way, for a taste that's always as smooth as its name. Bush. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountain. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountain. Head for Bush beer.
Aaron's. More than a name, it's a promise. Aaron's. With its riding mower, Aaron starts with a rear-mounted engine for more traction, for better vision. Aaron's quality rides in the Flex and Float Plus mower deck, gives uneven lawns an even cut. In winter, spring, summer, and fall, turn to Aaron's.
Look for Aaron's at Alexander's, 420 South Main, Scottsburg, and at US 60 Farm Center, Hardensburg.
The WHAS Crusade for Children is just 1 week away, but already hundreds of volunteers are gathering money for needy children. In Pleasure Ridge Park, there was music to draw crowds to the Westland Mall today. People there gave generously to the crusade. In Middletown, Crusade Director Phyllis Knight was Grand Marshal in a fundraising parade and a carnival. Then in Okolona, there was an auction to raise money. All three of these events were run by local fire departments. There were also Crusade fundraising events involving American Legion Post 220 and the Jaycees of Salem, Indiana.
Nice day for a parade. Will we have a nice day for Mother's Day tomorrow?
Yeah, no.
Don't disappoint your mother.
Couldn't do that. We're going to have warm temperatures. That's in the plus category. But we're going to have a threat for showers and thunder showers. That's in the minus category. I don't know. I've got to have a lot of angry people out there if it rained, but we really do need the shower activity, and it looks like we're going to stand a pretty good chance for some showers and thunder showers coming up over the next couple of days. Reason for that is this cold front that we find off to our northwest this evening. It is creating some very heavy shower and thunderstorm activity over portions of Missouri and Illinois right now. And this cold front, along with the showers and thunder showers, is moving to the east. And I think tomorrow afternoon we're going to see this cold front drop down into southern Indiana, and in that position give us a threat for some shower and thunder showers later on tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Now for early next week, a combination of this cold front and this low pressure system far off to our west will get together and provide us with a good threat for showers and thunder showers Monday and into the day Tuesday. Let's take a look at the action track color radar from the National Weather Service this evening. Again, sweeping the normal 155-mile radius, no rain is showing up in Indiana or Kentucky. Outside we have mostly cloudy skies. Our temperature is 73 degrees. Our relative humidity is still on the low side at 35%. The winds are out of the south at 14 miles per hour, and the barometric pressure is 29.73 and rising. Our high today, 77 degrees. Our low this morning was 41. We've had no rain for the day, just a trace of precipitation for the month. And the pollution index, well, that's in the high side of the moderate category at 92. On the regional map, skies are partly to mostly cloudy. Temperatures are still very mild for this hour, mostly in the upper 60s to mid-70s. Paducah, the warm spot at 75 degrees. Now, our forecast for the rest of tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy and mild, our low of 60. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, and warm. But again, that threat for showers and thunder showers tomorrow afternoon. The high will be 80 degrees. Showers and thunder showers again expected tomorrow night on into the day Monday. It'll be a little bit cooler, 75 degrees Monday. Cool weather Tuesday and into Wednesday. Showers will continue Tuesday, should end by Tuesday evening though. Cool weather Wednesday, temperatures back into the 60s, and then Thursday back into some milder temperatures.
That's not real nice of you to bring showers on Mother's Day, Ken.
I'm going to get a lot of nasty cards and letters and phone calls, but I'm used to it. I'm tough.
You should be tough by now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Coming up next in Action 11, Paul Rogers with a full sports load, including the Kentucky Bourbons Open.
They got it going tonight, and the fans had it going pretty good, too. Everyone had a good time, and a win never hurts. We'll have the story.
You know, whenever you get a hankering for something deep down delicious, there's no taste like Dean's. Take Dean's fruit-rich yogurts. You can see right off Dean's is different than most because there's fresh fruit flavor throughout. Even before you get down to that chunky fruit on the bottom, you get extra fruit flavor no matter how you spoon it. So if you want yogurt that's deliciously different, get Dean's. You can taste how much we care.
Ralph, my garage looks like a medicine chest. First it's a bug spray for roses. Now another bug spray for tomatoes.
I know. Store looked like your garage till I got Spectracide. Spectracide's 105 bug killers in one can.
Wow.
So it gets rid of bugs on lawns, vegetables, even flowers.
Spectracide alone does all that?
See? Kills 105 bugs.
Great. But now I've got to clean out my garage.
Spectracide, 105 bug killers in one can from Spectrum.
My car's a 10, and I keep her that way. I protect her looks with Son of a Gun.
Keep a good thing going. Son of a gun.
STP Son of a Gun helps protect your vinyl and rubber against everyday wear and tear. Son of a Gun, the penetrating protector that penetrates vinyl pores and openings and leaves a lustrous protective coating.
When you got a 10, you got a protector.
Keep a good thing going. Son of a gun.
The Bourbons had 2 softball games to open the season, right?
2 for the price of 1. That's the way they do it. The Kentucky Bourbons did open the new softball season tonight, and they were going against Pittsburgh and came away a winner in the first game, 9-3, after trailing early. Pittsburgh bounced back to take the second game, though, 8-3. Regardless of the outcome, though, softball is great summertime fun, as Maria Mannion found out tonight.
Spring is now official because the Kentucky Bourbons are back. It was the season opener for the Bourbons tonight out at Bishop David Field. The teams were raring to go, and the Bourbon fans, well, they were in rare form after a long winter's rest. What do you think of the Bourbons this year?
Well, I think about them, they're wonderful. And I guarantee you, if anybody would like to have them, we'll sell them back to somebody else. But we're going to be here as spectators all the time.
You know Tommy Harrison? This is his daddy right here. That's why they come out here. That's his daddy. We love him. We travel all over with him. We go to Milwaukee, Cincinnati, anywhere with him.
What do you think of the Bourbons this year?
Well, I must think they're all right. I wouldn't be here. Oh, yeah. No, that's his daddy.
How'd you come out here to the Bourbons game?
Oh, to help them win, cheer them on.
You come to every game?
Just about.
What do you think about the Bourbons this year?
Fantastic. These beautiful new players. Gonna win them all.
You come to all the games?
Absolutely, my son plays third base. Great Kemp. How about that? His grandmother, not going to miss a one.
What do you think about the Bourbons?
I think they're fine.
Little chilly, that's all.
Ain't no way he's going to hit a hit.
As you can see, the Kentucky Bourbons are back, as well as the fans.
We got him.
Maria Mannion, Action 11.
Blow that one up. You blowed it.
When the Indianapolis 500 is run in 2 weeks, Johnny Rutherford will be sitting on the pole for the third time. Rutherford clocked the fastest time for the 10-mile qualifying run today, averaging over 192 miles per hour. Joining him on the front row will be Mario Andretti and Bobby Unser. 16 cars qualified despite windy conditions and a rain delay. With the NBA playoff finals moving to Philadelphia,